you're someone who thinks that a woman submitting to you means that she respects you and that you see submission as respect and lack of submission as disrespect, then we are probably not the right people for each other. Like a relationship that I would consider a relationship in like 7 years. I've been celibate over 5 years, so I'm really just in my own energy. Hey guys, so I'm like in a weird place right now. Like I feel like I'm doing really good mentally, but it's almost like things are going too good, and so my subconscious is like trying to find reasons. I think this is what's happening. My subconscious is like trying to find like maybe things to fix. I don't see, as you like grow out of like one version of self into another version of self, what tends to happen is that older version, like the subconscious aspects of that older version come out and will kind of get you to like do old habits or do old things or fall into old thought processes that they pretty much work against you. It's I don't feel like the subconscious at this point is helping. And so there's like this push-pull with how I feel about things, and the like 3D version of me that's like really tied. I would say it's like the version of me that, you know, the egoic version. I don't really feel like I live in my ego much, but like, you know, the ego's still there, and so there's this idea of like, you need to get more book shoots. You need to do it. You need to do it now, and it's like, no, man, I'm not. There, it's not fully there. How do I explain this? It's like it's not fully there. It's like trying to creep in, like all these expectations, and it's like I have to stop and slow down, like literally remind myself that you are not doing this for anyone else. You are doing this because this is what you love to do. Like this is where you're meant to be, and sometimes where you're meant to be isn't going super fast. You know, sometimes it's slowing down and just enjoying where you are, and like the process of everything, right? Like it's the journey that's really the magical part of everything. It's that journey that you get to experience. And so I'm experiencing that now. Like I feel like it's probably easier for somebody who has a couple businesses and, you know, their main business is thriving, so they're not really worried about that income. Luckily, I'm in a space where I don't really need to be worried about the income so much, like in that regard. But I'm doing this so that I can take over and make things easier for my family. And so, like that's where my driving point is. Like I want to give my family a really good life, and I feel like I can get caught up on like, okay, I have to do this right now. This needs to happen this way right now. Where am I going? Okay, I almost went off the wrong way. So, and then there's this like weird, I feel like I'm just in this in-between stage. You know, I'm not quite consistently booking page shoots, but I am consistently having people connect that are willing to work with me. And one thing that I've noticed is that when I get kind of weird and I feel kind of off, you know, like I'm like this, like I wouldn't say I'm depressed. You know, it's like that. It's that adjacent feeling before depression hits, you know, and you're like, why didn't I see it sooner? Maybe I could have clocked it. Like, I feel like I'm kind of going into that. And it could just be that my body's preparing for like the rainy season in Oregon. And that alone can be kind of depressing, but it's like I know something's coming. And so there's this part of like, need to do more. And I have to do more now. And it's like, you know, if I knew what was coming, I would be able to prepare better, but then that wouldn't be authentic to what I'm supposed to be experiencing. How am I making sense? I feel like I'm rambling. I just really need to get this out. And I also am trying to do shorter vlogs, like, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, where I'm just kind of chatting and sharing things. But right now, I'm driving to the dispensary in Salem. I usually go to a smaller town next to us, but I think they close earlier. I think they close at like 8. So I probably could have made it there, but I'm gonna be honest, I was trying to be friends with one of the girls at the dispensary there, and we were supposed to hang out, and then I was having just kind of an off day mentally, where I was like, this isn't the best. I was just mentally kind of feeling off, and whenever I'm mentally off like that, like, it's just a better idea to not be around people, because that can sometimes be deciphered as them doing something, or if it's like the first time I'm hanging out with them, they're going to be like, oh, this girl's weird, when in reality I just was overstimulated and I probably shouldn't have gone out. So what I've learned now is, if I do feel like that, if I have some sort of plan set up, I usually will like reschedule or cancel. And the one thing I'm very intentional about moving forward is that I don't invite people into my life that are going to make me feel bad about putting up these boundaries for myself. Because for so long, I mean, I'm a double Libra, for so long it was always like, yeah, for sure, I got you. Well, no one had me. No one was holding me the way I was holding other people. And it took a long time and a lot of like personal energetic loss giving to others, where I wasn't being, it wasn't reciprocated, for me to realize, like, that's not what I want to. I don't want to continue that. I don't want any more people like that in my life. And in these smaller towns, I'm not saying everybody's like that at all, but in these smaller towns, it's really easy for people to fall into this like archetype of who they are. They're like, this is just who I am. The sun's really fucking with me right now. They're like, this is just who I am, and I'm just going to be this person. What happens is, something happens to us. Most times we get into like, we'll have a traumatic experience. And I mean, living as a human in 2025 is just a traumatic experience in itself at this point, right? So we'll have these experiences, and then depending on how intense it is, it could shift our personality. Like for me, when I came back from Vegas this last time, I got home. After I drove home, I was totally normal. I was like a people person, so happy to be out in the world. And then when I got home, I shut down. And I went into an autistic burnout that lasted 4 years. And I'm literally just now, I mean, I've come out of it, but like, I'm just now to a point where I can talk about it. I can recognize certain things that I might have recognized before. Was I talking about before? Was that a point? Oh yeah. So anyway, I'm really aware of the people that I want in my life, right? I mean, we should all be aware of the type of people we want to connect with. So, this girl at the dispensary, I mean, she was kind of standoffish, but like most girls, I mean, most women in general, like, they're kind of like cats, like they don't all jump onto each other and like, let's be best friends. They got to feel each other out. And so I just kind of felt like it was a feeling me out thing. I should have clocked it for what it was, which was, she didn't know how to present her energy to me yet. And most people who were like this, they present a mask. It's not actually, you're not actually getting the person that they claim that they are. They're presenting a mask, and they're doing a mask for whatever reason. Maybe she could want friends, she just doesn't know how to have them. I'm not quite sure that's what was happening there. So long story short, I was just not feeling right that day, and so I decided to say, hey, let's just schedule a different time. Today's not really the best day for me, and in my mind, I figured it was a great idea. She seems pretty cool. I'm sure she'll understand. It'll be fine. And also, I have like a side note to myself. It's like, anybody that has an issue with this is an instant red flag. No, because what do you mean you have a problem with me taking time for myself so that I'm healthy? The fuck? So, yeah, she was like, oh, that's okay. And then like, a minute later, she sent some shit back like, I'm really tired of making plans with people and they always cancel. And in my mind, I'm thinking, it's probably you, bitch. Like, you probably don't realize the way you're talking to people. Like, we don't exist to be your little fucking puppies. We're human beings. So, I think I responded with, wow, that was a bit that was a bit surprising of a response. I don't know, I was way too polite to the girl. I was way too fucking polite to this girl. And another thing I will say is she's younger. Like, I don't even think she's in her 30s, mid-20s, 25, I don't know how fucking old she is. My energy especially tends to trigger the younger women who are still finding themselves, because my surety and who I am is, for whatever reason, it's a trigger to them. They feel like my ability to know who I am somehow takes away from who they are. And so most times, if they're insecure or they've had a woman in their life who beat them down, who might have had a strong energy that's similar to me, I have found that they do not act savory. And so, and it's never like, see, when I was growing up, when the girls were mean, they were mean to your face, and you weren't like wondering if that was nice or not. I mean, actually, that's a lie. They did that shit here when I moved from Arizona. When I moved from Arizona, I came from a high school at 15 years old where if they didn't like you, you probably knew it because there was a fist in your face. Like, they were very aggressive, but like they didn't play nice. When I moved to Arizona or Oregon from Arizona, from that like intensity, that's how they handle things. It was smile in your face, and then the minute that you turn around, they tell everyone else how they really felt, but they would never have the balls to tell you to your face. And so that was a big change for me, because one, I was always used to just like, I mean, no one liked me. That's always been a thing. I've never been popular by any means, but I knew who didn't like me because they were very vocal about it. So now when I dealing with people like this, it seems to be a really Oregon thing. It's a very Oregon thing. I don't know about other states. Maybe somebody can like comment and tell me. But this like passive aggressive, oh, it's cool. And then so it was like, just people keep canceling. And I was like, listen, I don't need any of that. You're not going to gaslight me, and you're not going to try to make me feel guilty for doing what's best for me. If you thought we were going to be friends, we're not going to be friends. And I immediately blocked her. I didn't give her a chance to respond because I don't give a fuck what she says at that point. And then I went onto Instagram and blocked her on there too. Like, when I cut someone off my energy, cut. I don't need you to disrespect me 95 times for me to go, they're not good for me. I have been disrespected so much in my life, and that girl died. She's dead. I buried that version. Baby girl's buried. Who I am now is who came through the fire after everyone did all that stuff to me. So this is after everything has been done to me. This is who I am now. So, and I don't really care how people feel about that. And I'm proud of myself because, again, I'm a double Libra. Do you know how long it took me to get to this point where I didn't care? I love how this guy got out of the way and he's just going as slow as the truck, like struggling to speed up. Every time I'm driving with y'all hear me just complain, like, why are you? Let me get in front of this guy because I don't even want to deal with this shit. What the hell? What the hell? Do they know that was illegal as shit? What are these people doing? I wish I had gotten that on video. Illegally, by the way, like they pull out illegally. Every time I'm trying to do a vlog, some crazy stuff happens and I'm like, what the? I gotta stop doing vlogs when I drive. But like, I like it, you know, it feels more intimate. Like I could just chat with you. So yeah, after that happened, I was like, absolutely not. I cut her off. And see, an earlier version of me would have allowed this type of stuff. I would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm super sorry. What? No, you're not right. You're out of your fucking mind. And this is probably why you don't have any friends, because you treat people like they're your pets. Like, what? You don't own me, girl. Chill out. So, yeah. And I also just found, I went through a lot in 2020 and I never talked about it to anybody. I stayed so quiet about everything. Like, wow, you know, like just, y'all are really out here. Like, wow. Lord, give me patience. They just have nowhere to go. Like, y'all could all just get in the same lane and be slow together. And that, start a club. But move, you know. All right. Okay, so I just stopped at the dispensary and met some friends over there, and now I'm just gonna drive home. So yeah, anyways, that's the reason that I go to that the dispensary all the way over here. Like it's relatively far from my house, but I love this location. They're never busy. People are super, super nice. Like whoever works here, whoever's working, they're always really nice. Like they're always just fun. You can tell it's a fun location. Illegally driving across the parking lot, as I do. Been doing this since I was like in high school. I don't think I'll ever drive normally in this parking lot. It would feel like blasphemy. I'm careful, but yeah. So, the other day, I did the little get together with my new friend, and I don't think I talked about it. I signed up for Hinge, so I'm just like, I'm a lover girl. And actually, after years and years and years of healing, I'm like ready to connect with someone. And I met somebody. Like, I mean, we're just talking, but that's kind of cool. I try not to get too excited because a lot of times, like, I'm really intense. Like, the person that I connect with needs to be really emotionally aware. And unfortunately, they have had to, like, experience life a little bit. As sweet as it is to meet somebody who's, like, just never had any issues in life. Like, I think that my past is too intense, like, just too much for somebody who hasn't had that, you know? I think that it would be a stark difference. They say that, like, opposites, you know, attract, but, like, at the same time, I need to have something in common with whoever I'm dating. So yeah, I signed up for that, and was really just kind of like impressed with the back and forth conversation. A lot of people don't converse. I would say like the first 200 people that I hit a no to, like I was really impressed, like wow, that's a lot of people. And then I realized that like they were just like randomly sending likes, like not one person sent a message, like it was just like they were like randomly fishing for whatever woman would like bother to talk to them, right? And so I just immediately I had to put on my profile, like if you don't send a message, that it is an automatic no. I had to write something like, if you're someone who thinks that a woman submitting to you means that she respects you and that you see submission as respect and lack of submission as disrespect, then we are probably not the right people for each other. So like I said all this in my profile, and it went from like getting 50 new guys just liking, just sending a like, not saying hello, to crickets, like no men. But the men that have reached out since then have been really awesome to talk to. Some of them just didn't. I'm not trying to be a Barbie doll for someone, and I think that a lot of men see me and they go, she'll do. You know, like that works for whatever fantasy I have. And so even through the ones that have sent messages, I've noticed that there's been kind of an influx of ones that just, it's like they just, I don't even know if some of them, it doesn't even feel like they even like women. Like they don't, you know, I don't understand what's happening with the whole dating scene. And I haven't actually actively tried to date in a really, really, really long time. Like I don't think I've had like a relationship that I would consider a relationship in like 7 years. I've been celibate over 5 years, so I'm really just in my own energy, and I know that my energy and my ability to just not need anybody really throws people off. That seems to be the most triggering thing, is that like if they don't offer emotional support, you know, if they're not emotionally aware, if they can't connect on a mental level, they really have nothing to offer me. And unfortunately, a lot of men are banking on women, just hoping that they'll pay for things. And I mean, there's this idea that women should do half of everything. I will never do half of everything with a man, ever. I shouldn't date a man who needs to pay pinch pennies. I should never even be around a man who wants me to know the bills. It's not conducive for me as someone who's autistic. So if I marry someone, if I'm getting with someone, I'm not going to play this fucking role that as Americans expect women to play. It's not something I'm doing. I'm not doing it. And so I see this this disconnect because people are like, what do you mean you're not going to entertain a role for me that every other woman will do type of thing? And so it's just this mentality, and I'm noticing that the men that have this mentality they're just not safe men for me to be around. I don't want to be around men like that. So I'm really, really careful as to the type of people in my life. And so when I find one that like matches, I mean, I have kind of, I think a lot of women who are independent, emotionally aware, you know, they don't need someone to do everything for them. We have these like expectations of what we think, you know, our lives should be like, and when those are met, it's really easy to get super excited and then maybe even project your own fantasy or like your own idea of what a relationship should be like onto them. So the one thing I do is I don't let myself get too excited. I just kind of like take it for what it is, where it's at, and I just let it be that, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna end this. I've been talking a while and it's kind of dark. Bye.